What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome here today to episode 19 now of the OKC Thunder franchise here on NBA 2K21. And this episode might be the biggest one yet as we are in the Season 2 off-season. So thank you to everybody that commented on episode 18 on recommendations and suggestions on what we should do in the off-season. Before we get into the video, I just want to say that I did use trade override to get back our 14th overall pick, and I gave the Hawks 2 seconds as it should be. So we're in an interesting place. We have tons of assets. We have some young players. We actually have a decent amount of young players that have trade value. And maybe we're suited to make a big trade. We just missed out on the playoffs last year. We were the 9th seed when we really didn't expect to do much. So we are going to go through the rest of the offseason today. We're going to do some trades, we're going to draft some players, and we're going to sign some players. So first off, we are here at our assistant coaches. Now, I honestly don't remember too well who our assistant coach was previously here. So it was Dylan Isley, and we could look to bring him back depending on what he wants, but we could also look in a different direction. I mean, like Jason Kidd would be interesting for our young core. I know he really didn't help develop the young core in Brooklyn at the time. Well, they didn't really have a young core, but you could say Milwaukee, and he kind of stumped like Zion's development. So, or Zion, geez, Giannis, I don't know why I said Zion. So we can go at Chip Engelland from San Antonio. We can go after Wyatt Zimmerman. I would target Ime Udoka, but he's listed as a head coach. We could bring back Dylan Isley, but I think we're going to go in a different direction. Even though he's a defensive-minded coach, it looks like, and so is Kenny Atkinson. So not a terrible idea, but I think I'm going to make it a little bit more diverse in our systems and not have all defensive-minded coach, right? So I'm going to go after, I think, Jason Kidd. We're going to give him $2 million. I think he could be nice for Cade Cunningham's development, and even Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as well. We're going to offer Samuel Olsen a contract, and we're also going to offer Sean Navarro. He's the one I really wanted, Sean Navarro. So we advance today, and we do get Samuel Olsen, but we can't afford him yet. So we bring in Jason Kidd and Sean Navarro. Wes Unseld Jr. is also our other assistant coach, and then we're going to offer the rest of our funds to get Samuel Olsen, and he declines that. Okay, so we're going to go after Noah Rodgers on a one-year deal, and he will sign that. So here is where you guys offered me some suggestions. A lot of you guys said go after John Collins. Now, John Collins, I believe, is under contract. Yeah, he did sign a 3-year extension, so it wasn't too long of a deal back in 2021 as we are in the 2022 offseason. But see, I could look to trade art for him as it has a player option. Okay, so it's got 2 years left and a player option, so it could be a 3-year deal. I can't make a trade right now because I do have the picks to do so, but maybe they would want like a Darius Bazley or Pokusevski, and they both have team options. So I have to wait till after team player options, that phase, to make the trade. So I think I might just draft my players at 4, at 14, and I think at 25, and then maybe include those players in a trade. Some of you guys also mentioned to possibly go after Pascal Siakam, as the Raptors were just 21 and 61. They could be looking to build around, I guess, James Bouknight and Orlando Robinson, who was, I believe, on all NBA second team, and then get a plethora of picks and young players and kind of go in a different direction there, maybe behind Malachi Flynn as well. So that is an interesting idea, and I kind of might target that at some point, but I don't think I can trade my draft picks right now. I think I need to draft the players and then trade them, because I'm sure the Raptors or the Hawks or some team like that would want an NBA-ready player in return, like a Poku or like a Darius Bazley. And I also really like the idea of getting Domantas Sabonis, bringing him back to the team that drafted him back in 2016. But the Pacers still could be looking to contend. They do have Jalen Suggs, who is phenomenal already, and Sabonis is only 26, so like, I think they just might keep this core together. So I think Sabonis is kind of out of the equation in a potential trade today. So like I said, I really never had the idea of trading my picks for a player because I didn't really have a player to include in that trade. So looking at the mock drafts at 4, Patrick Baldwin is somebody that I would even hesitate not making a trade and just kind of building around him as our starting 3. Because like I said, I don't think Lou Dort's the answer. So I wouldn't mind that. So we'll see if this is the top 3. A lot of you guys also, or maybe not a lot, but some of you guys said if the Kings go for Chet Holmgren, maybe look to take or try to trade for Marvin Bagley. That could be something as well. But with 2 lottery picks, we can make a lot happen. Let's start the 2022 NBA draft. So Chet Holmgren does go number 1. So I do want to see here, do they have, I don't know, maybe some flexibility to move Marvin Bagley? I don't know if they want to get younger. Oh, he's a free agent. Yeah, because he's a 2018 guy. Yeah, never mind. Not trading for Marvin Bagley, obviously. Pick number 2 is going to be, oh, it's a trade. The Warriors are trading the 2nd overall pick and Draymond for De'Aaron Fox. So the Kings are about to add the 1st and the 2nd overall picks in this draft. Wow. Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green also getting swapped into shade, probably to make maybe some money work, but still, it's really 2 for De'Aaron Fox. Those are the 2 pieces that matter. And they would go Kennedy Chandler. No, they go A.J. Griffin. all right, maybe they're just going to roll Tyrese Halliburton at the 1. And then Kennedy Chandler goes number 3 to the Raptors, who are also adding to that young core, obviously. So we do have 18 offers, and I mean, maybe in a trade, because we do still have the opportunity here. Shout out to Kunkabelli, he's been balling in real life. And the opportunity to maybe keep Patrick Baldwin if we were to draft him, and then not include him in a trade. I don't know, like maybe the Raptors or the Pacers would take one of Poku and Bazley and 3 first-round picks, and maybe they would want to tail Maladon in the trade as well, something like that. So I'm sure we can figure it out, but right now I want to draft, and I think it's Patrick Baldwin. He was the guy I had my eyes set on. He's a 6'10 small forward. I don't think he's much of a shooting guard at that. 6'10, under 200. That is interesting. Maybe we got to send him to like a weight training camp. But I was also maybe targeting Jabari Smith or Jamin Brakefield. But I think at 4, when we already have maybe a potential trade in line for a power forward, and then we also have, even if not a trade, Poku and Darius Bazley. So I think we're going to go after Patrick Baldwin here. And he might be a Thunder next year. He might not. But I think this was a no-brainer selection here at pick 4. Some of you guys also said that I should go after, as we have a trade, as the Kings. You just traded De'Aaron Fox for pick 7 now. What? God, I hate this game sometimes. That just is the dumbest thing ever. But some of you guys were mentioning the trade that I thought about at the trade deadline, like an Evan Fournier, as Jaden Hardy just went, and Javon Quinterly, probably butchering his name. The Evan Fournier for Karis LeVert trade that I mentioned before, as Buddy Hield and Blake Griffin are getting traded to the Heat for the 9th overall pick. I mean, that's good value for the 9th pick. As Jabari Smith goes, there's Dallin Coleman. But back to the LeVert thing. I don't know. I think Fournier was fine for us last year. Yeah, LeVert might have more just potential coming off the bench, but I don't really think it's worth us giving up assets when we already have kind of, I think, our 6th man for next year. All right, so we're almost up here as the picks were as followed. Jamin Brakefield, Jaden Hardy, Quinterly, Jabari Smith, Dallin Coleman, Moses Moody, and Max Christie. So I'm also kind of targeting somebody at our next pick as Paolo Banchero goes, oh, I really wanted him. All right, so I was really targeting somebody that I think could have some good trade value. Could that be J.D. Davidson? I mean, if a team wanted Teo Maladon, we could just replace him with J.D. Davidson. That is definitely a scenario here. If we were to draft him, he would be our 3rd string point guard at the moment. But it looks like he's a good defensive guard. And honestly, we can maybe, how tall is he? 6'2"? I don't know. He could play some shooting guard minutes if we're not bringing back Hamidou Diallo, which I don't think we are. I think I like him over any of these other guys. Caleb Love also interests me. I don't know. I do like Caleb Love. Honestly, it might be a reach, but I might go Caleb Love here. Yeah, I know this might be a reach to some of you guys, but we're going to be going Caleb Love out of North Carolina. Could he be in a trade? Yes. Could he be our backup point guard next year or 3rd string point guard? Also, yes. And then at pick 24, there's a couple guys that I think would be good value picks here. Jaden Springer, even Moussa Diabate, who we thought we kind of needed a backup center. And honestly, I wouldn't mind him out of Michigan. We could go Musa. We can go MD right there. We could go Damian Collins as well, Walker Kessler. There's a bunch of good centers on the board, Makir Maker. I do like the idea of Moussa Diabate. I think I'm going to go him. If I'm butchering his name, please let me know down below. We could use Jaden Springer, but we can always find wings, I think. So, yeah, let's get Moussa Diabate and wrap out our draft. So, we have 3 new rookies on the team. So, yeah, that was the 2022 NBA draft. We added 3 new rookies to our team. I feel like, okay, so J.D. Davison and Caleb Love are the same overall, as here were some 2nd round picks if you were curious to see maybe where some guys went. Isaiah Todd fell all the way to 53. There's Marcus Bagley going 8, or that would be 48. Day'Ron Sharpe going 37th. Devin Askew going 35th. And there's Jaden Springer and Zion Harmon went the 1st pick in the 2nd round. So we have 3 new rookies to sign. An 80 overall Patrick Baldwin, 74 overall Caleb Love, and a 74 overall Moussa Diabate. So let's go to team player options, where we're picking up the team options on everybody but Ty Jerome. With us drafting Caleb Love really means we don't really need Ty Jerome, as now we have 3 point guards anyway. And if we end up trading one, I could just sign a veteran as well, and maybe get an actual veteran on the team, because we did lack veterans last year as well. So, yeah, we are going to advance here to, okay, as this free agency class is nice. I still don't think we're in position to go after a major free agent. But before free agency, let me just see my qualifying offers. Moses Brown, Hamidou, and oh yeah, we're going to pay Shea a lot of money. Okay, so before we get into that, it's time to make a big trade. So here's the first trade I have in mind. It's for Pascal Siakam after the Raptors were, I believe, 21-61. They just added Kennedy Chandler out of Tennessee. So this would be the offer I would originally request for them. So I would give them Darius Bazley. It'd be between Bazley or Poku. They do like Poku a little bit more, but but I feel like Bazley might make a little bit more sense. So I'm going to try Bazley. Caleb Love, I was looking at Taylor Maladon, and I would like to use Caleb Love, but I mean, if it's to get Pascal Siakam, we are going to do that. Siakam is 28 years old. We would give up a unprotected Clippers pick next year, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, and just see if that would get it done. 2 young players, you could say 3 young players, and a first-round pick for a team that's 21-61, or just went 21-61. He's got 2 years left in his deal. And I don't know, like maybe I would have to throw in another first-round pick in this trade, which we have plenty of. This was the other trade. They really like Caleb Love a lot. Atlanta, they like Jeremiah Robinson Earl a little bit more. And then we would throw in Darius Bazley for John Collins, who does have 2 years left on his deal. Pascal Siakam does help out our defense, though, which I think I pride ourselves on a little bit more than what we need offense, because we can get our offense out of Mobley, we can get out of Patrick Baldwin, we can get it out of Shea and Cade. So Collins, I mean, he is a great offensive player, but I think I want to go after Siakam. The other player was Domantas Sabonis, but I think it wouldn't really make the most sense for the Pacers as they just missed out on the playoffs. But they had the Rookie of the Year, Jalen Suggs, and they should be fine next year. And yeah, they don't really like Darius Bazley. They don't really like Jeremiah Robinson. They're like, all right, with Caleb Love. So I think I'd have to give up a lot more. So we are going to offer the Toronto Raptors a trade for Pascal Siakam. He is making $35 million a year for these next 2 years, his age 28 and 29 season. This would be the superstar we are getting. You wouldn't say he's a superstar in the NBA, though, so I'll digress a little bit there. You could say he's a top 25, 30 player. Putting him in the top 15 is a little much. You can maybe say he's top 20 on his best nights. Hopefully, we do a lot of spin moves, so maybe he'll fit perfectly fine here. And yeah, they're going to get, I mean, do they want Caleb Love another point guard? They have so many of them now. They have a lot of guards, so maybe they prefer, instead of going after Caleb Love, like a Moussa Diabate, honestly. Yeah, he's similar in star value. See, this might require us to give up another first-round pick. They're not too high on Jeremiah Robinson. Or maybe they want Pukaszewski, so we're going to offer this to them. 3 young players and a first-round pick for Pascal Siakam, and they will agree to that. Boom! Okay! Pascal Siakam is an Oklahoma City Thunder. All right, so we had to trade the 24th pick, Moussa Diabate. So that was the Suns pick, so we kind of still need to find an upgrade at backup center, which I'm going to do in free agency. We have our 2 power forwards. We have our center. We have our small forwards now. I'm going to go with Patrick Baldwin. I'm glad we didn't have to trade him. We have our shooting guards here, and then we have plenty of point guards. So qualifying offers, we are going to offer Moses Brown the qualifying offer. We will not be bringing back Hamidou Diallo, but we will be bringing back Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, obviously. So Shai, whatever he gets, we will match it. We do have enough for him, basically. I would like to see... we might not be able to go after a center until we get Shea back, until we know how much we can afford on a backup center. Chris Boucher, that would be interesting, having maybe Pascal Siakam can recruit him here. Wouldn't mind that. Robert Williams, but he is a little bit expensive. So, after day 1, we are going to renounce the rights on Ty Jerome. I don't plan on bringing him back, or Hamidou Diallo, or Wayne Ellington. So Shea's going to get a deal from the Pistons. We are going to be matching that, a 3-year, $91.44 million contract. Obviously, we're bringing back our franchise player. Even with Pascal Siakam, it's still Shai. So, looking at the free agency signings, KD goes to the Wizards. All right, that's actually kind of realistic because KD is from that area. That is cool. Kyrie stays with the Nets. Harden stays with the Rockets because the trade didn't happen. Butler stays with the Heat. Any big switches? Not really looking like there's any big switches at all so far. So now I do want to see what we can get as a backup center, and it's not too good. It's really not. I mean, if we're looking at system fits, I don't know. There it really isn't a lot here. Do we want to go after Chuck Diallo? He is a system fit. You know what? I'll go after Chuck Diallo. It'll only be a 1-year deal worth about $4 million. He probably is better than Moses Brown, but honestly, might not be much. So we'll look to sign him. Moses Brown will probably get back on the qualifying offer anyway. So let me just see how many guys we have on our roster currently. So we have 6 right there. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so Moses Brown would be 12. And I would like to sign some veterans here on the minimum. So we're going to bring in Garrett Temple. That's the first one. Ish Smith. That is the second one. And Kent Bazemore. That is the third one. So we get Bazemore and we get Garrett Temple. And then we get Ish Smith. And then that's pretty much going to be it for me at free agency, as Steph Curry might leave the Warriors. Westbrook is also a free agent. Why are the Warriors offering him a contract? I don't know. So I'll go over the full free agency recap at day 11. So we're pretty much wrapping up free agency here, and Russ has yet to sign. So is Michael Porter Jr. Interesting. We'll keep an eye on where they go. Where did Steph sign? Steph signed with the Pacers on a 4, but what? Okay. All right. Really, 2K. 4.76 mil. Why could we never get that lucky? Damn. All right. I mean, like, could I get Russ on the same thing? I mean, no, I'm kidding. But, yeah, so the Pacers, hey, glad they didn't trade Domantas Sabonis. They're going all in next year with Steph Curry, Jalen Suggs, and Malcolm Brogdon. What a point guard depth chart you got right there. So Bradley Beal goes to the Pistons. So they do get their stud free agent. He finally leaves the Wizards. He was there for about 10 years. Marvin Bagley did stay with the Kings. Zach LaVine goes to the Raptors on a 1-year, $19 million contract. All right. So Russ Porter Jr. or Chris Paul haven't signed yet, so we do end up getting Moses Brown. I mean, if we could look at the transaction report, and Russ signs a 1-year, $30 million deal with the Hornets. Michael Porter Jr. signs a 4-year max deal with the Timberwolves. Pelicans get Colin Sexton on a 1-year deal. Trae Young gets a 1-year deal. All right. I'm very confused about that situation. Whatever. Here is player progression. Shea's perimeter D goes down. What? Pascal Siakam's physicals and playmaking go down. Love to see it, right? So he's an 86 overall. I think he was like an 87 when we traded for him, so that hurts a little bit. But Cade's up to an 85. Poku up to an 82. Mobley up to an 82. It says 3 in the top right. 82. I'm just going to read off what it is in the top right. Dort 80. Patrick Baldwin 81. Tayo's up to a 79. Caleb Love 75. Moses Brown 75. He honestly still might be the backup center too. That could be like a trade deadline thing, like us looking for a better backup center. The All-Star game is going to be in Denver. Cool. So these have been the draft classes I've been using, the OESENT. And next year is the Amani Bates draft. Now, we only have one first-round pick, but I'm pretty sure it's between us and the Rockets. No, Clippers. So we get the better end of the pick. So if the Clippers are horrible next year and they get the first pick, we get it, even if we're like, we win the finals. So that's pretty dope. So the hoops, someone I meant to show you guys, but simulate over. I'm going to send the whole team to free throw. We had our problems last year. Hopefully it helps it out this year. I'm also going to be focusing our defense in the front court with our training camps. We're going to be sending Evan Mobley to low post defense. And then, honestly, is Patrick Baldwin an A+ potential? He is. So I'm going to send him to perimeter shooting. And let's just hope he's a stud like right away. He has a 92 3 and an 82 mid-range. Sick. So yeah, that is going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the offseason video part. I will show you guys the rotation and where I plan on it going forward. And you guys can give me some recommendations or suggestions on how we could change it. So here's going to be the starting 5. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Because I'm kind of like torn here what I should do with the rotation. Because it's an 11-man rotation. I would want to make it 12-man. So we have Cade, Shea, Patrick Baldwin, Pascal Siakam. We got the Patrick and Pascal forwards. And Evan Mobley. These are the new 2 additions to the lineup. I'm very excited to see what they can do this year. And I'm hoping I don't regret the Pascal Siakam trade. I really do. And then next up we have Evan 48, Alexis Pukuzevsky, Lou Dort, Teo Maladon, and Moses Brown. Caleb Love will not be getting minutes. I don't want to send him to the G League though because I feel like his overall is going to go down. In the top right, you can see that we are 15th in the power ranking. I will go over the player mentorship in the next video on what I'm doing with that. And then our system proficiency under Kenny Atkinson, who almost led us to a playoff spot last year. Yeah, he's 7 seconds or less. It is 3.5 stars. That is pretty much what we are going to roll with. So I'm happy with that. So yeah, that is going to be for me and the season 2 offseason. Now we are transitioning into season number 3. Drop a like if you guys did enjoy the video and if you want episode 20 out ASAP. But yeah, that is going to be for me. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.